red guts and green on the outside. I don't know about that. What do you think? Do you like that?
Yeah, I do like it.
Do you like this car?
I do like this car.
Jacob, where are we headed in this 2005 Suburban?
To the scrapyard. No, to Georgia.
And how many miles are on this bad boy?
190,000.
That's 4 days, 40 hours, almost coast to coast from California to Georgia. What was I thinking? All right, everybody, welcome. We are taking a cross-country, nearly coast-to-coast trip in this old Chevy, and we're gonna see if we're gonna make it. We've already had one issue. The Jacob, the coolant looked a little low this morning, right? And so
may or may not be leaking.
there you go. And that's what you get with a car with almost 200,000 miles, and we are off. Why are we doing this? Well, Jacob has bought a house out there, and he is gonna go live there and work his business. That's where he's found that there's some more opportunities. So he's gonna do that for a while and see how it goes. So he sold his car, as you know. He's been saving his money. He's been closing some deals, and this is what he's doing. So that means we're gonna move out there before the weather gets too much worse. Not sure when you're gonna see this video, but we'll document along the way a little bit. 4 days, 40 hours. Here we go. So we're only a few minutes underway, and Jacob's had a moment of realization. And Jacob was kind of like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? This car's got 190 on it.
Yes.
And I don't know what's going to happen between here and there.
And we're going to be crossing the Mojave Desert today.
If it breaks down in the middle of the desert, what do we do?
Die. How much did you pay for this car?
$4,000 cash.
Cash on the barrelhead. And when you bought it, how many miles were on it?
Like 170.
Okay, and now you got 190.
And now there's 190.
So you put 20 on this thing?
Maybe 15. It might have had 175 or something.
Okay.
Around
And
there.
then, what have you done to the car besides you drove too close to another car and clapped out your mirror, which is barely hanging on, right?
What have I done to it? Let me think.
Well, you put this radio thing in. What is this screen?
Oh,
This
yeah,
is the most generic.
$50 Chinese from Amazon.
$50, and does it work?
Yeah, it works fine.
So everything else here is pretty much original, right?
Pretty much. Oh, I had to replace the headlight because it went out.
Oh, it
so
did?
I had to,
Okay.
Yeah, I had to do that.
And we did just replace windshield wipers, right?
We did just do that, yes.
But it's old school. It's got like a DVD player overhead in the back. I don't even think that works, does it?
Probably not. No.
Do have a sunroof here though, and
Yeah, that'll be good.
this was at the time. This was a premium edition, wasn't it? Because it's got all the stuff like heated seats.
Well,
and-
that's what's fascinating to me is that this car must have been like 50 grand
yeah.
or like 40 grand back then, right? And now, like somebody in 2005 probably got in this thing and they're like, wow, look at all these bells and whistles. But now we get in this thing and we're like, oh, look at this dinosaur, and it's still got all the modern features that a normal car would have today, but they're just old. Like
Right.
we've got power mirrors and heated seats, but it's just old looking.
Right.
And now this car has depreciated since 2005 by what, like 95%?
Right. And you pick it up for a cool four.
Yeah.
All right. It has been well over 400 miles. We've got about 300 miles left on day one here, and we will hopefully get to our hotel around 10 o'clock. And stop number one, day one, is going to be in Flagstaff, Arizona. So from San Jose, California to Flagstaff, Arizona. Right now I'm cruising down basically Highway 40, which is Route 66, the famous Route 66. we're on this highway all the way to Oklahoma. So traveling down Route 66 is something I've never done, and something that's kind of a bucket list item. I didn't think I'd be doing it this way, but here it is. Kind of cool. So far, generally smooth sailing. We'll just keep on trucking. Day one, hopefully another few hours, we'll be in the books. It is 7 a.m. and we are getting ready to head out of Flagstaff, and it is chilly. So far the car did good, but Jacob, you say it looks low again, huh? That fluid?
Yep.
Okay. Did you pop the top off?
Nope.
Why don't you pop the top on that and let's look.
Does that not look low?
Appears to be eating some radiator fluid, doesn't it? Yep. Well, as you can see, the sun is out and bright, and wow, we are making our way. About 10 hours is our goal for today. We're gonna make it to just inside Oklahoma. Leave Arizona, cross New Mexico, cross the top of Texas, and land in Oklahoma for today. What does east look like?
Just like this. There's sky, there's ground, and there's a straight road that goes on for, what, 700 miles? Just,
Let's see.
dialed in.
Folks, that's what east looks like.
That's what east looks like.
Okay, obviously I am in the driver's seat now. We have been cranking for well over 3 hours and are well into New Mexico. So we will be blasting through Albuquerque here in the next less than 2 hours, so maybe hour and a half. So the issue with the coolant in the car is that I think it was just low, and at least that's what I'm hoping for, because we just filled up gas, and we added coolant this morning, and the coolant had not gone down, so it had stayed the same. So contrary to signs of a leak or something weird, I think maybe it was just low. That's what I'm hoping, but we are keeping our eye on it. The temperature has stayed rock solid. It's nice to have gas prices that are affordable now. We just filled up for $3.39 a gallon. Our last fill up in California was almost $7 a gallon. So that is ridiculous. So other than that, this Chevy is just cranking along. I can't believe it. We know that, you know, the trucking industry is critical to keeping society moving here, but man, oh man, it's just trucks, road, and sky. All right, so we are cranking east here. We had Whataburger back in Albuquerque.
We did. Very underwhelming.
Yep. We say it's kind of a slightly elevated Burger King, but hey, what do we know? So we are gonna make a stop at the Cadillac Ranch, something that's kind of iconic. I've always wanted to see. Unfortunately, we're losing more and more time as we go east, and it's probably gonna be a little bit on the dark side when we get there, or maybe sunset has just happened. We'll see, around 7 p.m. Texas time. We'll see if this is the last entry for today in this journey, or if we're able to capture anything at the Cadillac Ranch, and we'll check in with you soon. What does this say?
Now leaving New Mexico.
You are now leaving
Land of enchantment. Yeah, right.
Oh, we have officially made it to the Lone Star State. Jacob, you have made it from California to Texas.
Got a long road ahead of us.
That means the time we just lost another hour. Holy smokes. You know what? Still looks a lot like New Mexico. Well, we made it. Just as dusk is settling in, we are at the Cadillac Ranch outside of Amarillo, Texas, and we're gonna check this out. Let's see what this is all about. Everyone's seen the photos. Now we're here. Beck, is this what you expected?
I expected a lot more than this, and my expectations were really low already.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars. It is day number 3. Woo! We are back on the road a little after 9 a.m. local time, which with the time change it feels like 7 a.m. to us. But Jacob's behind the wheel and we're cranking. We stayed in Elk City, Oklahoma last night. Got there, what, Jacob, a little after 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was both nights, first couple of days, we've had a chunk driving at night. I think today we're going to avoid that. I think we're scheduled to arrive in Memphis somewhere between 5:30 and 6. We'll see. Not necessarily in a total rush. Not quite as long of a drive today. A little over 8 hours is what we're hoping to chop down today. So we shall see. We'll be blasting through Oklahoma City pretty soon. Jacob, what do you think of this flat rolling hill land out here?
Super boring to drive.
It is boring. That's one thing you realize is just how much open, empty land we've got in this country. How's she been running so far? Pretty smooth, right? I mean, I gotta...
Super smooth.
Yeah. How's it been owning a car like this? Big old beast.
Hard to park, but in every other scenario, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I prefer big cars.
You like the big car? Why?
Because you dominate the road.
Yeah, yeah. And you can fit everything in here, right?
Exactly.
All right, update time. We are still in Oklahoma, and I was mistaken. Looks like our hotel where we're staying tonight is just inside the Mississippi border. So we will blow through the rest of Oklahoma. We will blow through Arkansas. We will dip into Memphis, into Tennessee, pop right into Mississippi, and I guess that's where we're staying. This topography, I think Jacob and I definitely prefer this. Jacob pointed out that we're getting greener and lusher as we go more east out of New Mexico, across Texas, Oklahoma now. Greener and greener, right?
Way greener.
All right, well, we will check in again at some point. All right, so we are officially in Arkansas. We made a quick pit stop for some gas, grabbed some Wendy's. We're maybe 2 hours outside of Little Rock, heading east, of course. So, you know, this rig, it keeps on moving. As far as driving experience, the steering wheel has some definite play in it. But I think you would expect that out of a car with almost 200,000 miles on it. So that's not totally surprising. The seats are genuinely comfortable overall. I mean, other than just, you know, we'll be at about 30 hours in the saddle by the time we hit our stop tonight. Other than that, I mean, it's just generally, you know, painful to drive this long, but they're surprisingly comfortable. So the overall ride is actually pretty nice. One of the things that I'm impressed with, besides the soft ride, is the fact that inside, for a car with this many miles on it and this old, I'm not hearing a lot of rattles and creaks and shakes and things like that. Like, the stuff is holding together really, really well, and I'm kind of shocked by that. Weird. And all the gauges, everything works. Like, the heated seats work, the electric seats work, the every single gauge works. Heater, air conditioning, the air conditioning blows super cold. I know we had an inspection done before we hit the road, and they did say the brakes are a little low. Pads might need changing at some point, but nothing that we were thinking we needed to do right away. You know, and then the coolant issue, which may or may not even be an issue. Other than that, we're cranking along. Temperature's good, oil pressure's good. Fingers crossed, but at this point, kudos, Chevy. You built this one right. Stop at this place here. Where do you park? I'm just gonna go up front here. Are we gonna get swarmed? We might. All right, so we just made a pit stop at 2 Dodge dealerships just outside of Little Rock, Arkansas. And it was kind of interesting. The first dealership wasn't that impressive. Just had a couple of RTs, a Challenger, a Charger, the Charger, Octane Red. Second dealership, as we're pulling in, you could see the inventory is higher, but it's really a lot of Jeeps and trucks until we went inside, right?
Yeah.
And inside, loaded with Chargers and Challengers, 2023s, there's some used ones, 2021s, and why did they put all those cars inside?
He said it's because people kept trying to steal them.
Yeah, so they put, what, anything 5.7 and above?
Had to go inside because people were making fake keys and having orchestrated criminal attempts to steal their inventory, so they had to put them inside.
There's just too many people trying to steal those cars, so they put all the good stuff inside. Weird. And they had a lot of stuff. They had a 1320. They had several Hellcats, Chargers and Challengers. On some of the 2023 Hellcats, they did have 5,000 markup, but the other cars, Scats and some of the other stuff, he said that they actually had some discounts going on. So prices are changing. The bugs on the window are epic. That is, wow. All right, it is after 6 p.m. here. We are still in Arkansas, but we're getting close to the border of Tennessee. Could be our last entry because the sun is fading. So I was hoping we wouldn't have much driving in the dark, but it looks like we're gonna have a little bit. We're hoping for a little bit less driving tomorrow, but who knows? You gotta blow through Atlanta tomorrow, and that's a gamble. We could hit some traffic, but we'll see that tomorrow. So another day on the road, all the way across the country. All right, it is the next morning and hopefully our final day of our journey here. We've been on the road about 30 minutes, and we are in Mississippi. Today we will be crossing the bulk of the state of Mississippi, across Alabama, and into Georgia to our final destination, I hope. So we're gonna make a stop at Buc-ee's outside of Birmingham. Jacob's never experienced a Buc-ee's. I've seen it thanks to Dad's Garage, thank you, Tim, and I've been exposed to a Buc-ee's. We're gonna go check that out. It's a beautiful day here. Gotta be honest, this country in Mississippi here is very, very nice. Beautiful. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I think it's solid. Way better than Memphis, that's for sure.
Yeah, Memphis was chaotic last night. It was too dark to film. Coming into Memphis, across the Mississippi, that was beautiful. And then the drivers in Memphis. What is going on with the NASCAR races on the freeway on a Friday night? Dodge Chargers, Camaros, Corvettes just zipping through traffic. Guys, slow down. Come on, man. Crazy. All right. Life on the road. All right, we are in Alabama, making our way towards Birmingham, another beautiful state, and gas prices are well under $3 here. Not to mention, gotta tell you, This highway that we're on, cutting through Alabama here, is newly paved, so it's a super smooth ride. The highways through Arkansas, would it be, and Oklahoma, Jacob?
Those were bad.
Those are bad. There were some potholes, bumpy. This is like beautiful. Cranking through, laying down the miles. Okay, we made it to a Buc-ee's. If you've never been to a Buc-ee's, you got to check it out. We're just past Birmingham, Alabama, making our way east into Atlanta next. Well, we have made it. We are officially in Georgia, and we are just coming into the outskirts of Atlanta, and we should be at my son's place about 4:30 p.m. local time. About an hour and a half left to drive. So, man, we are close. Cannot believe that 4 days of driving, we are almost there, and that we have basically gone coast to darn near coast. And can definitely see the traffic thickening up here in the greater Atlanta area. So hopefully maybe one more check-in and we will wrap up this video, but what a journey, holy cow. All right, everybody, we are 15 minutes from our destination. This has been a crazy trip in many ways and incredibly smooth at the same time. I mean, this car has performed surprisingly well. Jacob, any final words? What do you got?
Get out of California. And if you're thinking about buying a Chevy Suburban with 200,000 miles, go right ahead.
All right, well, I don't have too many final words other than I'm not sure I would say go for it 4 days across country, but at the same time go for it because it was kind of fun, and we got to see parts of the country that I frankly would never see. Flown over a lot, but never really truly seen them. We got really, Jacob and I were just talking about it, we got really fortunate with weather too. We didn't hit any bad weather. We were able to keep it cranking at 70 to 80 miles the whole time. And boy, kudos to Chevy. This car, honestly, except for the little things like we talked about, a little play in the wheel, a little sponge in the brakes, this thing ran like a champ and ran like a brand new car almost. So thank you to Chevy. You got us here safely. How many miles total, Jacob?
On this trip?
Yep.
There's like 2,700.
Almost 3,000 miles, basically coast to coast. 2,700 and change. Wow, what an experience, and super grateful to have been able to share it with my son Jacob. And that'll probably wrap it up for this video. We may throw a few other things in here, but until next time, guys, take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Where is your house? Is that it? This is Jacob's house, folks, right here.
That's it. That's the one.
Wow.